Some tragic news in the world of racing over the weekend. The Dapto Dogs will shut down next year. I mean, it's hard to think of a more iconic symbol of greyhound racing, the Dapto Dogs for heaven's sake. But the owners of the Dapto Showground told Greyhound Racing New South Wales on Friday that negotiations had failed to continue being there and it wouldn't be extending the lease. So they've been operating there since February 25, 1937. I mean, this is a very long time, and it is such a symbol, Joe, of working class Australia, and long-time viewers will know that I have ownership in horses and dogs. I love the greyhounds. And even if this is just a spat over, you know, they want to do something else with the land and they don't want to lease it to them, it's not necessarily a we hate greyhound racing kind of situation. But to lose the Dapto Dogs is a big blow to the fabric of what greyhound
I reckon it really is. My mate Timmy G, for a mascot, good working class boy, Sydney born and bred, as soon as he got the news, he just posted a pic of it and said, "What next? The Sydney Opera House?" Because it is. It's like it is this iconic kind of. And we're losing. I mean, we're already losing greyhound and racing tracks all over the city. We've lost Wentworth Park, Harold Park in recent years, and now, of course, Rose Hill.
Potentially,
there's still right on Tuesday. And again, I think Rose Hill probably would better serve the community as housing, but you know, surely I mean, if you're just going to say what can we fit more of on this area, on this land, as seems to be the argument here, well, you're never going to have a racetrack, are you? You're never going to have a
Let's demolish the museums, movie cinemas, and everything else.
Let's demolish every single cricket club because we can fit, you know, more tennis courts on there.
Correct. And this is the thing is, you know, no one would suggest demolishing a museum or doing anything of that nature will. But you talk about great working class stuff like greyhound racing. Oh, that's fine, get rid of it. It's just, you know, boring drunkard men who like going there. So we don't like it.
How dare you call us boring?
Mate, I'm one of them. You know?
It could be, it wasn't just commercially viable anymore. It could be, you know, there are better uses in inverted commas, but I think there is something more sinister here. And I present into evidence the Dapto Agricultural and Horticultural Society said in a statement. This presented a fundamental barrier to the Society's ability to meet the evolving needs of the broader community. In other words, it's just not multicultural enough. This is a bit too old Australia. This is a bit too, dare I say it, a bit too white. It's a bit too working class. I get the feeling that this is a political statement as much as it is a practical statement.
Aren't they just saying we could make a mint by selling this for housing or putting it to commercial use?
Or doing something else
and therefore serving the community.
Can I just remind you what a huge cultural icon it is? A legendary Australian comedian was George Wallace. George Wallace once starred in a movie called Gone to the Dogs, which was set at the Dapto Dogs. Now, you don't get more culturally iconic than that. You don't wipe out that stuff. Although, can I just say, my dad was a racing fan like you, and he didn't like the dogs. He said, the races are too short. They only last 10 seconds.
But you bet on 1 and 8 every race, cannot lose.
And the problem is you lose your money a lot faster as well if you're betting more often. But, you know, it really saddens me. I've had this discussion, of course, you'll know I love my jumps racing and I own jumps horses. And every time that discussion has come up about getting rid of jumps racing, I've said, look, you get rid of jumps racing and they'll come for the rest of racing. They'll come for the whip. They'll come for the jockeys. They'll come for greyhound racing. And we are losing things that have been such an important and integral part of our history. And it's so easy to pick apart things that the left in particular thinks is a symbol of the Australia that it no longer wants. And greyhound racing, unfortunately, is one of those.